What is up, fam? Water and Grass here, coach of your favorite team in EXPNU, the Birth Island Bidoofs, and today we have a battle, a Week 5 battle against Daniel Bulky McBulkerson of the Mauville Munchlaxes. Trainer Zabuza, he has like 400 names. But anyway, he's bringing one hell of a bulky core, as we can tell by the team previews. He's got that Zapdos, Registeel, and Cofagrigus core that I did not want to deal with. But you know what? I brought something to help break that a little bit in NidoKING, so I'm pretty prepared for it. He's also bringing a Slurpuff, his Mega Gallade, which obviously we're going to be afraid of a little bit, and the Archeops, which he recently dropped, and, you know, Aerodactyl for. So I'm expecting from his team. I'm expecting Cofagrigus to be physically defensive, Registeel to be specially, Zapdos to probably be mixed. I was expecting Belly Drum Slurpuff. I was also expecting a Substitute Gallade, and I was also expecting Heat Wave on that Archeops for my Mega Aggron. Now, speaking of my team, we have a Choice Scarfed Infernape, a Uxie with Stealth Rocks. We'll get into that Uxie a little bit later. We also have a NidoKING, Life Orb, Sheer Force, NidoKING, Mixed Attacker, who got superpower on that bad boy. We got a physically defensive Rotom, a physically defensive Jellicent, which puts in the finest of work in this battle. And speaking of the Uxie, we got a Rest Heal Bell combination on that Mega Aggron and Uxie that hopefully we'll get to use in this battle, so Aggron can continue putting in the work it's been putting in all season. No kills yet, but you know what? When you're damaging everything and setting up hazards and rocks and statuses and all that fun stuff, who the hell needs kills anyway? You're doing your job. So, let's see what happens in this battle here. Now, he's going to lead things off with his Archeops. Now, I immediately expected this thing to be Choice Scarfed. Actually, not Choice Scarfed. My Infernape is Choice Scarfed. I immediately expected it to be Focus Sash. My Infernape is Choice Scarfed, so I figured I'm going to hit a Stone Edge. Bring it down to its Sash. It's going to Earthquake me. It's not going to kill me because it'll be in Defeatist range. And that's not the case because we missed Stone Edge first turn, so we're off to a fantastic start, obviously. So I'm just going to bring in Jellicent here. It's my safest switching onto this thing. He can't Endeavor me if he has it because I'm a Ghost type, and Endeavor is a normal move. So he's going to switch out here. I'm just going to go for the Scald. It's my safest play. I have no reason not to go for Scald here. Maybe we can get a burn on something. So we're going to Scald this Zapdos, and we are actually going to get the burn. It does a nice amount, considering I have no investment in special attack on this Jellicent. And we are able to get the burn. The residual damage is always nice. You know, if he has Roost, so be it. Obviously, you want to Toxic a Zapdos if you can, but I'm not complaining about a Scald burn. So, we're going to switch out the Jellicent here. We don't want to take a Thunderbolt or Revolt switch. I'm going to go into NidoKING expecting that, but he expects that very nicely and goes for the Heat Wave. Now, it doesn't really matter. The only physical attack I do have on this NidoKING, if he does get a burn, is Superpower, which I have for Registeel, things like that. But, you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm just going to go for the Earth Power here. Or the, no, I go for the Sludge Wave here, expecting him to either stay in or go into, you know, something that could probably eat up a hit. He goes into Cofagrigus, and I'm figured, you know, Sludge Wave is my safest play, so why not? As you can tell by this damage from a Life Orb NidoKING that did less than 25%, that does absolutely nothing. So he is a mixed defensive Cofagrigus. I doubt he has any HP investment, which we will see later on. But Earth Power is going to be able to do the finest of work right here. As you can tell, since it's, you know, not resisted like Sludge Wave is, it does a hell of a lot more damage. He is able to knock off my Life Orb, but that is kind of irrelevant to this battle because NidoKING still dents every single wall that he has. So he's going to switch out his Cofagrigus here and go straight back into his Zapdos. So I'm going to go for the Earth Power, just playing it safe because you know what, why not? So obviously we're not going to hit Earth Power. Zapdos flies in the air, and anything that's in the ground is not going to hit him because that's how science works, guys. So he gets his Leftovers recovery after we missed that Leftovers, as Zapdos swiftly avoids it. It takes some burn damage, and we are just going to go straight for the Ice Beam here. Now he's pulling around, he's switching out. He has nothing for this NidoKING. Even without the Life Orb on it, he doesn't want it stay in on really anything. So we're just going to go for the Ice Beam here. It does absolutely nothing to Registeel. Like it does like 4 damage. I don't know. It did jack. It did nothing. I don't know. So we're just going to go for the Earth Power here because, you know what, even though our Life Orb is gone, I know I could take a Seismic Toss because we're at 55 HP. So we're going to be able to eat one up and then possibly, you know, knock it out on the next hit despite our Life Orb being gone. So there he goes. NidoKING is flying over to planet Earth. I'm assuming that's planet Earth. I don't know what, you know, planet Pokemon come from, but we can only assume. So he's going to go for the Protect here so he can get some Leftovers recovery. It's a good play on his part. It definitely prevents Registeel from being knocked out without my Life Orb on my NidoKING. That extra HP recovery. However, it doesn't matter because we're going to do enough damage. Like you said, NidoKING, like I said, NidoKING does plenty of work in this battle despite not getting any kills. He knocked down Registeel to, amount of HP where anyone could knock it out as he takes me out here with the seismic toss. He put in plenty of work on his Zapdos, and Cofagrigus is also at an amount of HP, which we can easily kill it off with. So I'm going to go straight into my Aggron here, my Mega Aggron. I got a nice little surprise for a Snorlax, or not Snorlax, it's Registeel. I was expecting a Snorlax, so the surprise was for the Snorlax and the Registeel, and that surprise is Low Kick. Now, obviously, Zapdos comes in. Low Kick isn't going to do anything to Zapdos. He could have been expecting the Thunder Wave. He could have been expecting the Earthquake, because I didn't even know Aggron got Low Kick until I found it. But we do get a useless crit here. Does absolutely nothing. But, at the leftovers and burn, at least damage is damage. You always got to think about that way. Damage is damage. So, we are actually going to stay in here. I am not fearing a Heat Wave. I know I can take at least one. We have very little HP investment on this Mega Aggron. We have full defensive investment. A lot. Most of our other EVs are in attack, and then we have a little bit in HP. But no special investment, no HP investment, really. And we miss a Stone Edge on his Roost, which actually matters quite a bit. Because if we had hit that Stone Edge, even though it wouldn't have done super effective damage because of the Roost, we still would have had enough damage on the Zapdos to kill it off with this Stone Edge that we do hit. So, a little bit unfortunate there. I guess Stone Edge isn't really my friend. We missed a bunch against Anima. We missed a bunch against Daniel here. But you know what? That's fine. It's part of the game. It's no big deal. So, he's going to get some burn recovery. I'm going to switch Aggron out here so I can have it around later. I can have it for Slurpuff. I can have it, for Gallade, because I can still take a hit from Gallade, even though I'm at less than half HP. I think he just goes for the Volt Switch as I bring in my Rotom Wash. Now, Rotom Wash does a lot against his team. There's really nothing on his team that can deal with it, barring the Zapdos, and even in Zapdos doesn't really want to take Hydro Pump after Hydro Pump after Hydro Pump. So he's going to go straight into Archeops here. I was kind of expecting the taunt, but you know what? I said, screw it. I want to break the Sash, and if he has Endeavor, I don't want to go for the Hydro and Volt Switch and get him down to that Sash where he can I can bring in, any other Mon and have it down to 1 HP. That'd be pretty crappy if we did that. So I go for the burn. I figured if he asks for the taunt, so be it. We'll deal with that next turn. But he doesn't go for it, but we get the burn off, so we're able to break his Sash. So that's always a good thing. You always want to break a Sash. And here he does reveal the taunt. Now, he obviously made a misplay there. He probably should have went for the taunt to begin with, but you know what? It happens. He still got his rocks up. Rocks are always important. So we're going to be able to go Volt Switch here. It's not going to be able to take it out completely, but the burn from the Will-O-Wisp will take it out as we, have our little in-between turns, animations right here where I get my leftovers recovery as I bring into Uxie, and he dies to burn. Now, as he dies to this burn, I'm thinking to myself, he's going to bring in Mega Gallade, and I brought in the complete wrong Pokemon for this Mega Gallade. I brought in Uxie because it was probably my safest wall, but I was really fearing this Mega Gallade. As soon as this play happened, I'm thinking to myself, if he has the subs, if he's a sub bulk up variant, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. But he goes for the Swords Dance, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I go for my Rock so I can kill off the Zapdos upon switching, because I'm still up pretty much. Sorry about that. But, so the Stealth Rocks are up. He has no way of getting rid of them. So Zapdos, obviously Zapdos is his defogger, but he's going to die 2 rocks when he comes in. But he goes for another Swords Dance here. And I'm like, okay. Maybe he doesn't. Shadow Sneak after +2 wouldn't have knocked me out, but Knockoff probably would have. I forgot what the calc was for that. I'm pretty sure Knockoff knocks me out after +2 because I don't have a Chople Berry or anything like that, or whatever berry it is for dark types. So I go for the Thunder Wave here, expecting him to, just kill off the Uxie. At this point, I wanted him to kill off the Uxie, but he just keeps going for Swords Dance, so I'm like, okay, well, free T-Wave here. So I go for the Thunder Wave. I'm able to paralyze the Mega Gallade, which actually comes in handy, because paralyzation is always a lot of fun. So we're able to go for, we're just going to keep going for Knockoff. I'm going to keep spamming it. I want to get enough damage off on this Mega Gallade as possible before I bring in my Jellicent and start Shadow Balling. Now, I was actually considering putting Hex on the Jellicent instead of Shadow Ball, but, I do like status moves, and I do like putting them on my opponent's Pokemon, but I went with Shadow Ball, just because Hex is a little bit more situational, and even though I'm almost guaranteed to get statuses off at least a few things, Shadow Ball is just more consistent. But I am able to get a few Para Hacks, as he does reveal the Drain Punch, so he doesn't have Shadow Sneak or Knockoff on this Mega Gallade. But the Drain Punch is actually surprising. So I make a switch here. I'm like, you know what? If he has a knockoff and he kills my Jellicent, so be it. I am a physically defensive, max HP, max defense Jellicent, which Shadow Sneak would not take me out. Shadow Sneak from +4 Mega Gallade actually only does 70 to 80%. So that's always a plus. So he had to go for the knockoff there if he had it to win, or even a Psycho Cut, and then go for the Shadow Sneak on the following turn and knock out the Jellicent. But he goes for the Drain Punch. I know he wanted to go for the Drain Punch for the extra HP after the knockoff has done so much damage from the Uxie some Parahacks. So I'm able to just bring in Jellicent safely on the Drain Punch and then kill him off after a couple Shadow Balls. We're able to outspeed because of the paralyzation, and we got a +4 Mega Gallade threat out of the way. So that was pretty scary. If he was Substitute, it might have been a completely different story. Bad situation I put myself in right there, but that's fine. So he brings in the Slurpuff, and I'm thinking, okay, well, here comes the Belly Drum. Let me scald and hope that I get a burn before he ruins my life. Now that Choice Scarfed Infernape is dead, but he reveals Calm Mind, and I'm like, okay, all right, this man's got Calm Mind. He's raising the special attack, his special defense. And here he goes for Cotton Guard, and I'm like, okay, so this is a setup sweeper, especially attacking Slurpuff. Let me get this Toxic off real quick. Now, typically these things carry Draining Kiss for HP recovery, and usually Thunderbolt or Surf. This one actually has Draining Kiss, and I believe he had Flamethrower. So, because I didn't see Thunderbolt and we didn't see Surf. Obviously, he could have had Surf, but it didn't really do anything against my team. Flamethrower obviously did more if I brought in Mega Aggron or something like that. So we're just going to Toxic Stall a little bit here. We're going to take a page out of Anima's book from, 2 weeks ago. We had the bye week last week, so 2 weeks ago, and Toxic Stall, except for I have a giant Pringles man looking ass jellyfish, and she had, I don't know what Alamomola is supposed to be. Something, some big giant fish. It looks like a big pile of fat. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's annoying as hell. So we're just going to keep going for Shadow Ball here, getting damage off, letting the poison take in. He's going for the Draining Kiss. Now, Jellicent is incredibly bulky. It's probably my favorite pick from my entire draft, to be honest. Any bulky water type is fantastic. You add a ghost type to that, you add the access to Will-O-Wisp, you add access to things like Scald. It just makes it a very, very, very good Pokemon. And of course, the fact that it gets Recover, like we see right here, makes it that much better. Its abilities are pretty damn good too. We got Water Absorb and Draining Kiss, so very, very excited to have Jellicent on my team. It has put in a lot of work in pretty much every single battle I brought it into, so look for it to be a staple on my team going forward. For anyone watching who still has a battle with me, expect Jellicent. I'm not afraid. But we're bringing Jellicent here. He's going to do the finest of work right here, just Toxic Stall on his way to victory. He's going to go for a Draining Kiss here. I mean, you can see this is from like a +3 or +4 Slurpuff right now, Draining Kiss. Obviously, Draining Kiss doesn't have the highest base power, but you would still expect it to do a little bit more to a Jellicent with no special defense investment, but it's just that bulky to the point where we're just going to be able to keep recovering and taking these Draining Kisses. He's not going to be able to get enough HP back onto his Slurpuff to, keep living the Toxic. So eventually we're just going to outlive him, and that's what Jellicent does. It just sits there, takes hits, fire statuses, and knocks out Mons, which it does a hell of a lot of in this battle. So we're going to get our HP restored right here as he is going to be taken down by the Toxic on the next turn. So he's going to go for a Draining Kiss. I'm just going to go for another Recover, and this long-winded Toxic Stall battle is finally over, and I could stop talking about how much I love Jellicent, because Jellicent has become one of my favorite Pokemon. We actually get the Cursed Body on the last Draining Kiss. That mattered. That completely mattered. Would have been nice if we got the the Cursed Body a little bit later. That way we could, ended this a little bit sooner. But anyway, he's going to go into his Zapdos here. Zapdos is going to die to rocks. At this point, there's really nothing else he can do. Mega Gallade is gone, Slurpuff is gone, and NidoKIng absolutely damaged his entire squad despite having his Life Orb knocked out. It's just the pure power of NidoKIng. So he goes into Registeel here. He switches out Registeel because at this point, I mean, why not? Let's just keep adding more turns to the battle. And he goes into his Cofagrigus. Obviously, Scald, Shadow Ball, whatever I wanted to go for was going to take it out from that range because you're not resisted. And to Scald and Shadow Ball is super effective to Mr. Metal Mummy right there. So Cofagrigus is going to go down. He's going to bring in Registeel, and we're just going to kill that off with a Scald. Obviously, we're going to outspeed. We got a giant hunk of metal or a giant floaty, scary-looking jellyfish. I don't know. It's up to you. But anyway, Scald's going to go. We got 4 kills with Jellicent. 4 kills. It's pretty damn impressive. Jellison putting in the finest of work this battle. Obviously, NidoKING did its job too. Very, 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 very good battle. The score to 4-0 is not as close as the battle suggests. The battle was obviously a lot closer than the 4-0 makes it seem. But awesome battle. Definitely go check out Trainer Zappaza and the Mauville Munchlaxes. Awesome, awesome little channel they got going on. He's a good EXPNU battler. Definitely good EXPNU battler. He's had some bad luck in a few of his battles, but he's getting there, and he's just got to keep pushing forward. So, good game, bro. Thank you all so much for watching. We put the beat down with that Jellison. I'm very, very excited about that. And yeah, let's get this video up to 300 likes, and I'll see you all next time for my next EXPNU battle against Elmas Show Off Leo. That should be a good one. We are both going to be out of our minds for that one, and I'll see you next time. This is Water and Grass, coach of your favorite team in EXPNU, the Birth Island Bidoofs. I'm out. Later.